Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. Over at Schrock Innovations, we do a lot of stuff, and lately we've been doing a lot of data recovery. A lot of soaked computers, soaked hard drives, stuff that was damaged by all the flood water. As the water recedes, the damage comes to light. One thing that I'd like to point out for everybody, if you have a computer that was damaged in floodwater, or a hard drive like an external hard drive or something that was damaged in floodwater, whatever you do, please do not turn it on. It is not going to work. It's full of all kinds of particulates and nastiness, and the second you turn it on, you actually can destroy the information on the hard drive to the point where it can never be recovered again. And if that happens, obviously never is a long time. And so that means no matter, there isn't some magic technician that can unscour your platters and get your information back. So please, if you have flood damage technology, let us turn it on for you. If we turn it on and by some miracle it isn't like destroyed, like before we turn it on, obviously, we're going to disassemble it, clean it, make sure it's ready to turn on before we turn it on, is what I'm getting at. If we look at it and say, well, we could have just turned this on, we're not going to charge you data recovery pricing or anything like that. We're just going to make sure you get your stuff back. So anyway, over at Schrock Innovations right now, we are doing half-price data recoveries for flooding victims. Also, flooded out computers, we're doing computer repair with no labor. So that way you can get in on stuff. Now, a lot of times when you have flood-damaged equipment, you just don't want to fix it. And the reason for that is, we can clean it. We can get it working again. Usually we can replace a couple key parts and get everything back up and running again. But when you have a piece of electronics, whether it's a computer or a DVD or a VCR or a piece of machining equipment, anything that's electronic, what ends up happening is that water that gets in there actually will start to corrode the boards. And what could work perfectly well for a week, 6 weeks, a month, 6 months, eventually that corrosion will set in, and once it sets in, there is no stopping it. And once it's corroding, obviously you're going to have all kinds of weird problems. So sometimes it's better just to replace it. If you're in that position, might I recommend the final days of the Ultimate Upgrade Sale at Schrock Innovations. So the Ultimate Upgrade Sale is, we only do it once a year, and we started this on March 1st. It will end at the end of March. Which means some of you, when you hear this, let's see, no, let me look here and make sure. No, everybody who hears this show will have one opportunity, whether that's one day or a week, to get in and take advantage of the ultimate upgrade before it's gone. Now, during the ultimate upgrade sale, the reason we call it the ultimate upgrade is because we don't actually use any parts out of an old computer to upgrade your computer. We don't actually, add a little bit to something that you bring in to make it better. The ultimate upgrade is obviously a complete replacement. I mean, that's exactly what you want, right? So you trade in any old, tired, or worn-out computer for, in essence, what's a $100 discount off our entry-level models. We do the sale every year. It's popular every year. We sell tons of these computers. I think we're over 100 so far this year already, and we still have a week to go, so it's pretty crazy. We don't limit the quantity on them like we do during the holiday special. But you can come in, you do your trade-in. You trade in your old computer when you pick up your new computer, so you don't have to trade it in when you come into the service center. So you don't have to bring it with you, is what I'm getting at. So if your stuff is still underwater, or you haven't got to it yet, or it's a mess, you can always come in and put in your order for your new ultimate upgrade. It takes about 14 business days for us to get that built into you. And then once we do, then at that point, we can try to do a data transfer. If you don't have damaged equipment, obviously, it's a lot easier to move your information over to the new computer. We can get you set up with an on-site to come out to your house and hook everything up for you. We do on-site work as well for homes and businesses. So if you're a business, or small business especially, that has a lot of older computers, a lot of Windows 7 computers, we're going to talk about an update you're going to get on the program today. You're going to get a Windows update, Windows 7 users, that is going to start nagging you about end of life on your computer. It's the end of life talk. Now, we all hate that, the end of life talk. Mom, Dad, you've lived a good life, but now it's time. That's like a dystopian, like, but your computer's going to get that, right? So, Windows 7, we've had a good run. We've been here for years. We've been working well. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the hardware, but because of a arbitrary software decision at a multi-billion-dollar company whose stock is doing quite well, I might add, you're going to have to buy a new computer now. It's time to go. Time to go to the happy hunting ground where computers go to die. So basically, the ultimate upgrade, you can head this off at the pass. If you wait until January when Windows 7 is actually expired, that's when everybody's going to be buying a new computer. That's actually, January is one of the worst times to buy a computer. The reason being, all of the new stuff comes out in the summer and the fall, because they're trying to get it into the stores by Christmas. Then everybody buys everything at Christmas time, so inventory is depleted, which means the most popular computers actually get more expensive. Supply and demand, less supply, higher demand in January. It's going to be much higher as people are forced to buy new computers in the month of January. You're going to see price hikes. So basically now is kind of the right time to do this, because everybody's got their new inventory coming in. Everybody's got the old inventory ready to blow out. I mean, it's a good time to buy a new computer, honestly. So it's a great time for the ultimate upgrade. And you can do that over at Schrock Innovations at any of our 3 locations. You can come on into Lincoln, Omaha, or Papillion. You can also do it on our website. You may not realize this, but at SchrockInnovations.com, you can buy computers, you can get antivirus software, you can, pick up a copy of Safe Upgrade while you're over there. There's all kinds of stuff. You can go to Shop and Specials. We also have some do-it-yourself articles. If you're a kind of person who likes to do things on your own, you can always check that out over at SchrockInnovations.com. All right, so today on the program, we got some interesting stories for you here. First time ever that video streaming is beating cable providers. So that means more people are streaming than have cable subscriptions. We're going to talk about the details behind that report. Microsoft tech support scammer pleads guilty to defrauding victims of $3 million. It's about time one of these guys got nailed. These are the people who call up your mom and dad and tell them, oh, we have your IP address and we know that your computer is infected with a virus. We're with Microsoft. We're certified, and we only need like $500 million to clean it. Okay, let me get my checkbook. And you're like, really, Mom? It's like, you don't even give me money, and you're going to give this guy from India money? So we'll talk about that one, how they busted those guys. The Samsung Galaxy S10 5G is rolling out April 5th. This is different than the S10. This is the S10 5G. The first 5G phone released in America. Should you run out and buy it? It'll be pricey, but we'll have the lowdown on that too. Again, we talked a little bit about the Windows 7 nag patch. That's going to be a fun one. Have you seen the commercials on TV for MyPillow? It's like this guy who could be like anyone's dad, who's like, he invented like a better pillow. And he's like, if only I could find a place to sell my pillow. And he's on infomercials and he's at Walmart and everything. Well, they got hacked. And they woke up to a online security nightmare. The word sleepless nights is in the headline here. A few sleepless nights with MyPillow, founder. Boy. Okay. Also, the battle of the Earpods. I mean, have you heard about this? So Apple released a brand new AirPod, but Samsung's buds, a lot of people say, are better. The Samsung ones that are coming out. So again, another example of Apple getting beat in a key product that they're supposed to be innovating in. Do you know that Apple's AirPods have their own processor? Like, we've come to the point now with earphones where they need their own processor. You know what I mean? It's like pretty soon you're going to be like, hey, I've got a blender over here. Now, actually, blenders do already have their own processors. And hey, I've got a mixer. Most mixers are actually still controlled by physical levers. Anything on it that you can press a button, like not a physical button. Think about the difference between pushing a button in your car stereo now versus pushing a button on your dad's 8-track player. When you push that physical button, you got an actual physical response. Like something happened inside. Things moved like a pinball machine, right? Now you just push a button or touch a screen, and any of those devices have processors in them. So if you're wondering if your stuff has a processor in it, anything where you can touch a button and a light goes on or off, that's pretty much a processor now. Unless it's a physical button that you have to physically depress with force, and then there's a mechanical mechanism that locks that button in place. So like the power button on your computer, kind of funny, your computer is always turned on even if it's turned off. I sound like, a Jedi now. But it's always turned on even if it's turned off, because your computer always has power. You press that little soft touch power button and the computer says, oh, somebody hit the power button. Let's wake all the way up. And that's how your computer turns on. So back in the old days, they had physical power buttons like the old IBM Aptivas, click, click. There was a big metal rod that went through the case that pushed a button in the power supply, and it was very fancy. 866-496-8772. And also, you can watch the show on Facebook, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where we are live streaming now. We have not been caught up in too many Facebook live stream issues. We had some delay issues, I guess, last week, but they were probably wondering, you could bring props in just to see, like, does this trigger Facebook? Does this trigger Facebook? The whole thing, if you haven't followed what I'm talking about here, there was a shooter in New Zealand that shot up a couple mosques, and he put a GoPro on and basically filmed himself. He streamed it live on Facebook Live, him going through and killing these people, like full gruesome detail. And basically, Facebook just left it up, didn't care. Or if they said that their automated systems didn't catch it. I shouldn't say they didn't care, because the idea that there's a human being at Facebook watching every live stream that happens every moment in time is ridiculous, even though that's what some senators and congressmen are calling for. That's ridiculous. There's just no way to do it. You'd have to credential people beforehand before you could let them broadcast live, which defeats the whole purpose of broadcasting live in the first place. So it's kind of, at what point are you protecting society from its own moral decay? It's kind of and are you actually protecting anybody, or is it just better for people to learn that this kind of stuff is out there? I don't know. It's a really interesting moral conversation you can have. New Zealand is done having it. They have put a bunch of restrictions in place. Interestingly enough, though, they said people were so outraged by the shooting that they were turning in their own AR-15s. It was a big news story. Their assault rifles are just being turned in by gun enthusiasts because they're like, this is wrong. And it was like 5 people that did it, and it made like international news. So yeah, it was kind of, don't read the stories, read the story and the headline. All right, 866-496-8772. So one last thing before we jump into stories here. There is a big deal happening. Again, everything seems to be culminating here at the end of March. And so we have the ultimate upgrade ending at the end of March. So that it's no joke. On April 1st, you won't be able to get it anymore. But one other thing that we don't know when it's going to happen in April is the Schrock Safe upgrade, this Windows 1903 upgrade that's going to come down. And we've talked about this before. I won't bore you with all of it again. But for those of you who are new to the program, if you have a Windows 10 computer, you get a brand new version of Windows 10 every 6 months. I'm not talking about a patch. I'm not talking about like a service pack. I'm talking about you get a brand new 100% shiny new copy of Windows every 6 months, like upgrading from Windows 95 to Windows 98, or Windows 98 to Windows Millennium, or Windows Millennium to Windows XP. Yay! Or Windows XP. You get the idea. It's like you're getting a whole new version of Windows every time. Now, they don't all look incredibly different, but they are different under the hood. This is why you'll have a person that says, I have Windows 10 and I have my favorite greeting card program and it works fine. Or I have Windows 10 and I'm running Office 2010 and it works fine. But I bought a new computer and I tried to install my Office 2010 and it won't work anymore. It won't activate. What's wrong? Well, the new computer is running a different operating system than your old computer was, even though they're both running Windows 10. Does that make sense? So think about it like subversions. So you're running Windows 10 subversion 1, and this other computer is running Windows 10 subversion 7. Okay, so it's way far advanced over the one that was on the old computer. Well, your computer is going to get a brand new version of Windows 10, whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. It's going to be automatically downloaded to your computer, and your computer will eventually automatically restart itself to install it, and it'll install it in the middle of the night, and you'll wake up in the morning, and if you're lucky, 80% of the people will see, welcome to the newest version of Windows 10. Check out these new amazing features. 20% of the people will wake up to a black screen, to a computer that can't install the update, so it just keeps trying it over and over again. Like it installs and it says, please wait to install the update. And it takes forever. If you're still on a mechanical hard drive, this update's going to take a half an hour to 45 minutes to install. If you upgraded to a solid state back in January, you're going to be pleasantly surprised how quickly this update installs. It's phenomenal. So basically, this update is going to blow up 20% of the computers that it touches. We say this because we know from historical fact that Microsoft's been doing this now for a couple of years. We've been through several of these updates to the point where we said, listen, this is getting ridiculous. Every 6 months, we have the same people, because it tends to hit the same lucky individuals, apparently, that come into the service center, and they're getting upset with us because their computer keeps blowing up when these updates come down. And it's not our fault. It's not because of where you bought your computer. It happens to Dells. It happens to HPs. It happens to modular computers. It's a Windows thing. And people are, I should just buy a Mac. Well, you could. I mean, you could. But then think about if you're upset because you're spending a little extra money to keep the computer running every year because of these updates, you really don't want to go buy a Mac because you're going to spend a lot of extra money to buy a Mac. If that's the reason you're going to switch to Mac, that's not a good reason to. There are reasons to switch to Mac. That is not one of them. Saving money is not one of them. Better technology, that's not one of them. Not right now, anyway. So basically, if you have a Windows 10 computer, which almost everyone does, you're going to get this update. What should you do? We got a little tired of people getting upset with us in the service center. And so we decided to get proactive about these updates. And we said, listen, we're going to make something called Schrock Safe Upgrade. What Schrock Safe Upgrade does is it installs this Windows 10 update, because we notice if we install it on our bench in the service center, everything seems to go great. We don't have issues. Or if we do have issues, we can catch them. We see the warning signs and we stop the update or change the way it's done, moving from a different source or from to a different destination, whatever we have to do to get that update to work. When it happens at home, you don't have that capability. So we decided to create a software product that gives you that capability at home. It's called Schrock Safe Upgrade. It's an online only. This is a do-it-yourself kind of thing. So if you're a do-it-yourselfer kind of person, this is for you. You can go to our website at SchrockInnovations.com. You click on Shop and Specials, and you can purchase a copy of Schrock Safe Upgrade. You need one for each computer you're going to upgrade, because it's good for each computer, because we warranty each upgrade. Okay, so when you install Schrock Safe Upgrade on your computer, it puts your computer through a whole battery of tests before it installs the update. It checks to see if you're running good antivirus software. It makes sure your third-party software is up to date. It tests the health of your hard drive. Then it downloads the update from our special server where we upload it so that we get a nice, fast, clean download. Then it checks it does a checksum basically to make sure that that update did in fact install properly. So if it's a flawed download, it doesn't just try to install it. And if it's if for whatever reason the update process would get hijacked or something, it just double checks everything to make sure everything is in order, good best practices, and then it installs the update for you. And so the good news here is you can get the Schrock Safe Upgrade for $50. Compare that to a $200 computer repair in the service center, and you see where I'm going with this. It's a good way to get a little bit of insurance that this update's going to go off well for you. You do need to get this one. If you bought the last one, we sent out emails to everybody who purchased last time. Those were very special emails. If you purchased last time, you want to look for that email. We just this weekend started sending emails out to everybody else, customers who did not purchase before. This update is going to come out in April. We don't know when in April. It literally could be April 1st or it could be April 30th. We don't know how much time we have. We do know, however, that we limit the number of Safe Upgrade licenses that we sell, because if something goes catastrophically wrong with this update, which we can never rule out the possibility of that happening, but if something goes catastrophically wrong with the update, we can support 500 people. We can't support 1,500 people simultaneously. So we have to keep the number within a catch-all basket that we can help. So basically, that's why there's a limited quantity. The amount you see on the website is the amount that is available there. I'm going to check and see if I can pop that up real quick and get a feel for how many we have left here, because I honestly didn't look at it before the show started. And it's always a good idea for me to tell you, like, yeah, hey, I'm talking about this great product and it's gone. Sorry. There are about 225 in stock right now. So we're a little over halfway sold, but you can still jump in there and get one. Remember, you need one for each computer that you're running. You can get that on the Schrock website, SchrockInnovations.com. If, on the other hand, you are not a do-it-yourself person, you're getting a discount. If we do this in the service center, it's $80. It's $50 if you do it at home yourself. So you get a $30 discount. If you're not a do-it-yourself person, you can buy the Schrock Safe Upgrade to kind of reserve yourself a place in line. And then if you want us to do it in the shop, you can bring your computer in when the time comes and it's a $30 upcharge. Or you can just not buy anything right now and just come into the shop when the update's out. You'll see us talk about it on Facebook. We're going to send an email when it comes out. You're going to see us or hear us talking about it on the radio show. We'll probably have a special on the news station in Lincoln as well to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. 866-496-8772. Got to take our first break of the program, but Tom, stay on the line. Your call is coming up next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff. And that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases, even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 187. Recently, you may have received a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft or had a message pop up on your screen telling you that your computer was affected. Do not respond to these calls or messages. They're always a scam. Microsoft will never call you about your computer. Here's how the scam actually shakes out. You get the phone call that your computer's infected. The scammers hit you with some mumbo jumbo about an infected IP address. They'll ask your permission to connect and help you fix it. Once they're in your computer, they do a bunch of fake scans that detect a lot of problems that really aren't there. You see the scan results and figure, your computer's in trouble. Next, the scammers will demand up to $400 to clean up the computer and set you up with a lifetime protection. Don't fall for the scam. Keep good security software installed, like Endpoint and Secure Updater, so when things like this do happen, you know you are covered. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Carol McHugh. All signs pointing to Attorney General William Barr releasing the Mueller report to Congress today.
A public release of the Mueller report by the Trump administration is very much dependent on Attorney General William Barr's review of it. The president has already stated he wants to have it made public, but now congressional Democrats are saying they want access to the full report and its supporting evidence.
Fox's Eben Brown. Congressional Democrats have pledged to keep on investigating the president no matter what the report reveals. The sound of furniture sliding, crashing across the deck of a stranded Norwegian cruise ship off the coast of Norway. The engines on board the Viking Sky failed in heavy seas, with the possibility of the vessel running aground on the rocky shore. More than 450 passengers were plucked off one at a time by rescue helicopters. This is Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Scattered showers continue around the area this morning, and those will be sticking with us through the early afternoon before we start to dry out later today. Temperatures climbing to around 54 for that afternoon high. Cloudy skies overnight with temperatures down around 37 degrees. More clouds headed our way for Monday with a high around 48. With Omaha's most accurate forecast, I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist David Keller on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. Facebook feed is back up and rolling with considerably fewer viewers than before, but maybe I shouldn't make fun of Facebook and their feeds. 866-496-8772. All right, Michael on Facebook says he's not sure it got through. My battery icon in the bottom right-hand corner keeps disappearing. I restart and it reappears. The next time I wake up, the battery icon is gone. Any thoughts? Well, there's a couple possibilities here. The first one we can't rule out is a battery that's failing. Usually that doesn't make the icon completely disappear. The other thing that we can look at here also is the battery icon. Is it separate from the charging icon? If it's separate, that means your computer is running some other third-party battery management software, and that could be the issue. You don't really need any third-party battery management software. You could just uninstall that, and then it'll let Windows handle it. So when you plug it in, it'll look like an AC adapter, and when you're not plugged in, it'll just look like a battery. So a little bit more information there, Michael, but you can go ahead and pop in and let us know that there. Okay, so secure updater, antivirus, anti-malware. Ray is asking, but I'm not sure exactly what the question is there. Yes, Ray, that's all good ideas. 866-496-8772. Rich, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Hi, Thora. I got two questions for you related to your Ultimate upgrade.
Sure.
The first one is, will that be coming with the new version of Windows 10, or do we still need to buy a safe upgrade package for that?
Yeah.
And the second one is, at what point do you recommend upgrading from 4 gigabytes of memory to 8 gigabytes? And I'm looking at the laptop.
Great questions. Okay, so first of all, the Ultimate upgrade, as far as when it comes out, we don't know the exact date Microsoft is going to release the new version of Windows 10 yet. We know it's going to be in April. So it depends on when you buy your computer, honestly. If you buy it this week, there's a good chance that you're going to get that, whatever the current version of Windows 10 is, that's what we're going to install on your computer. So when we get them in and we program them, we make sure before they go out the door that all the updates are done. So if there's an available update or upgrade in this case, it will be done. If there's not, then it won't be done. So as you can see, it can be a little problematic, a little confusing to kind of predict in the future, like, when are they going to release that particular computer. So long story short, if you were to buy a new computer from Schrock, and let's say the update installed itself and it blew up, and it blew the computer up, Schrock's warranty covers the Windows operating system. So any kind of problems with the computer, like not booting, things like that, would all be covered by your warranty. The only thing you'd really want to be concerned about is making sure you have a good backup of all of your data, because that's not covered by the warranty. So if you get a situation, and we saw this with the last update, where everything seemed to go great, you had the old version of Windows 10, now you got the new version of Windows 10, except you have no data and no programs. It's like a clean install of Windows all of a sudden. Then you lose everything. So having a good backup is always something we recommend. So that would probably, if you have a good backup, you shouldn't have to worry about it one way or the other if you're buying a new computer for this one.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it did. Thanks.
Awesome. Cool.
And what about the 4 gigabytes
yes,
to 8
thank
gigabytes?
you. Yeah, so as far as the memory goes, the laptop, this is kind of interesting, and I was talking with our Asus rep over at Ingram Micro about this the other day. The Ultimate Upgrade laptop has 4 gigs of RAM, and it's a chip-on-board laptop, which means it will always have 4 gigs of RAM. There's no way to increase the memory. If you go with the Ryzen size upgrade, which is the 20th anniversary twist to the Ultimate Upgrade this year, you used to be, you're getting like our entry-level computers for $100 off, and it's a good deal. Everybody was happy with the deal, but it was our 20th anniversary. We had to do something, twisty. So we went ahead and said, okay, what if we took the core of a holiday special and stuck it in the Ultimate Upgrade? So the desktop model has that same Ryzen processor that the holiday special had, that our Gallant computers have. I mean, this is the same processor that our $1,300, $1,500 computers have. But in the laptop, to do that, we have to switch models of laptop entirely. And when we switch that laptop model to the Ryzen model, there is an extra slot available for memory. Those Ryzen ones we can't. So if you Ryzen size your laptop, we can actually upgrade the memory. Otherwise, we can't. So when is the time to do it? I would recommend upgrading the memory in your computer to 4 to 8 gigs. 4 gigs is good for home use, internet, pay bills, do some email. 4 gigs will get you by. If you're planning on doing anything more intense than that, so if you are an amateur photographer and you're going to be retouching photos, if you are going to be doing any kind of document production of any kind, whether that's office work, like if it was a home computer, 4 gigs is fine. If it's an office computer, 8 gigs is fine. So therefore, if it's a home office computer, I'd recommend 8 gigs of RAM. So basically, the amount of memory in the computer will impact its ability to multitask. So the more memory you have, the faster and more efficiently it will switch between tasks. Both computers with either configuration will get the job done. It's just the 8 gig one is a little smoother about it.
Okay. So, and with if you Verizon size it, you have the ability to get it initially with 4 and then upgrade to 8 at some later time?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So when you Ryzen size it, you still get the 4 gigs on board, just like the Ultimate Upgrade laptop, but there's a slot that we can add more memory, whereas there is not on the other computer.
Okay. So it's kind of a situation where you can try it. If you like it, you're fine. If not, then you can upgrade.
You can. There is one benefit, though. During the Ultimate Upgrade special, we offer, it's a special price. True. It's $50 to double the memory with no labor.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're thinking in the back of your head that this is something that you probably should do at some point, it would make fiscal sense to do it when you buy the computer because you're not paying the $110 for labor to have us put it in later. And also you're getting special pricing. You're getting an 8 gig stick of RAM basically for $50, which if you look online, that's about cost. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Okay.
All right. Well, good questions, Rich. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. See, guys, it's that easy. There's no such thing as a silly question. You can call in 866-496-8772. Ask your question, make a comment. We'll get you in the drawing. Jenny is asking questions about her Norton security software on Facebook. She says that Norton is uninstalling itself once Windows does an update. The shortcut icon and everything becomes uninstalled. Why would this be happening? We have the 2018 holiday special. I asked this last week, but it never got answered. Well, I'm sorry about that, Jenny. So basically, I'm assuming you have Semantic Endpoint from us. The Semantic Endpoint software should never uninstall itself. Now, there also is not a shortcut icon on the desktop that comes native with that software. We actually, if a customer wants a shortcut, we'll make a shortcut and put it there on the desktop, but it only opens up the same semantic control panel that you can see down in the lower right-hand corner. There was a brand new version of Semantic Endpoint that was pushed out this week in preparation for some updates. I want to take this opportunity to say one thing, Jenny. Thank you for bringing this up because I would have forgotten otherwise. We are going through a migration here in the next week to a brand new version of Semantic Endpoint, which of course is perfectly timed to coincide with a brand new installation of a Windows 10 update. So what could go wrong, right? But no, this is required by Semantic. We put it off as long as we can. We have to do it. There's a couple good things and a couple things. The thing is, I'm not ever hot on forced updates, but this is a forced update, and that's from Semantic. That's the only way we can do it. So basically, you're going to see, if you have our Semantic Endpoint software, you're going to see a box on your screen pop up at some point in the next week, and it's going to say, save your work now. Your computer is going to restart in 20 minutes. You will not have the ability to close that box or to cancel or postpone that restart. You can click restart now and just get it out of the way if you want. But so if you're in the middle of something, unfortunately, that's how it's going to have to be. We can't control the time of day when this update rolls out. We can't control it's going to push out when it pushes out. The problem is we need to make sure that everybody gets this before the end of the month, because starting after the end of the month, there's a lot of, you won't lose service, but you're not going to get updates either, because this is a whole new version of Semantic. Now, on the upside, this is going to offer us some capabilities that we don't have right now. For example, how many times have you guys heard people call the program and say, what should I run on my tablet? Does my tablet need antivirus? And our answer in the past has been, oh, no, your tablet's fine. The viruses haven't gotten to the point yet where they've penetrated they called it the walled garden, Apple's walled garden. Well, guess what? Now they have. Ingenious, right? They make an app that's legitimate, they get it approved, and then they push out an update that puts malware in the app. And just the other day I was talking about this, and Nikki, Front Desk in Papillion, says, yeah, I can't even open Safari on my iPhone because I get pop-up after pop-up after pop-up when I open my Safari browser. I have to use Chrome on my iPhone. I can't use the browser Apple gave me because the phone's infected with something. And I'm like, gee, Nikki, we have a whole shop of techs back here, You might have thought to mention that. We could remove that for you. So we're getting to the point now where malware is actually infecting these mobile devices. And we're going to talk about this during the Aftershock a little bit, which is the Facebook show that we do after the program here. You can stay tuned on Facebook. It's actually going to be a new feed. So the show will end and then the Aftershock show will begin. You have to join that one separately. But we're going to be able to install Semantic Endpoint on iOS and Android devices. And next month, we're going to have some special pricing to help out with that a little bit. So it's going to be really nice because you can manage all of your devices under one security blanket, basically. And Schrock Innovations will warranty the security installation of all those devices. So it works out really, really well. So from a benefit standpoint, it's a big plus. From a pain in the butt standpoint, yes, I don't like forced restarts, but so that's the way Symantec is making us do this. 866-496-8772. Jumping into the stories we've got here. All right. Oh, goodness here. Microsoft tech support scammer. We just heard the PSA here during the break about this. If you get a call from Microsoft, you should don't let them remote into the computer. Don't give them any info. It's a scam. Microsoft doesn't call people. Microsoft tech support scammer pleads guilty to defrauding victims of $3 million. Suspect admits role in criminal operation within a week after being arrested. Wow, they cracked him pretty quick. A North Carolina man pled guilty of putting together and managing a tech support scam business that defrauded U.S. citizens of more than $3 million over the course of 4 years. So he's doing almost $1 million a year. That's not bad. That's probably he lived in North Carolina. He can afford those taxes over there. According to the court documents obtained by ZDNet, Bishap Mittal, 24, had set up a company named Capstone Technologies LLC, together with an unnamed co-conspirator through which the two managed multiple websites and operations. They'd buy Google and Bing ads to promote their sites on search engine results, and then they'd also buy access to pop-ups shown by adware rented from various developers. This is pretty standard stuff. When users land on their sites, a pop-up was shown to an unsuspecting adware-infected user. The aggressive pop-up would lock the browser and claim that their computer had been infected with a virus. Many of these pop-ups were made to look like they came from Microsoft. Does this sound familiar? This is why we taught you the Alt F4 trick. Alt F4 closes all open browser windows. It's very handy when your boss comes around the corner, or if you get one of these pop-ups on your screen and they've locked out all the controls, you can't click an X or anything. Alt F4 will close those windows for you. Authorities say call center operators would follow a prepared script that would tell victims their computers were having technical issues because they were running two antivirus applications that were contradicting each other. Pretty standard garbage. They don't contradict each other. They do make your computer run like a dog if you do that, but they won't contradict each other. To remediate the issue, victims were told to purchase unneeded tech support services with prices that range between $200 and $2,400. The average that we saw in Nebraska was about $400. The scheme ran through November of 14 to August of 18. Capstone operated under multiple names. The MS Squad, really. Microsoft Squad. Oh my gosh. Microsoft Infotech, United Technologies. Anytime a business has to change his name that much, that's probably a bad sign. They charged him last week. He pled guilty. Tech support sites have been a big problem for Silicon Valley tech companies and Microsoft above all. The OS maker worked with U.S. and Indian authorities over the last few years to crack down on these types of sites. After Microsoft filed several complaints last year, Indian police raided 26 call centers and made 63 arrests. In 2018, these tech support scams generated over 142,000 customer complaints to the FTC. Those are just the people who complained, guys. So let's just do the quick math here. We saw that some of these went up to, $2,400. Let's just say they were all $400 ones. And that's 142,000 complaints, which probably means that was about 10%, but that's $56.8 million in scammed money. We've joked in the service center before, like among the technicians, that people have enough real problems with their computer that need to be solved, that under the hood that they don't know are there, which is why we recommend you get maintenance every 6 months, because these problems, you don't even know they're there. And when they present themselves, they're big and bad and nasty because they've been festering under the surface for so long. So we said, literally, we could run a robocall that used the same hook these guys used. We're Schrock Innovations, and we've detected your computer as having a discombobulated whatchamajigger, and we need to check your IP address for infected protocols, and let me see, what other garbage can I put together here? And we need to make sure the sectors of your hard drive are free from platter infections. That's right. And so then if you let us remote into your computer, we actually do real work then. And we would really check your computer. And if everything was okay, we would just tell you, hey, your computer is in great shape. It was a false alarm. Everything is good. Or if they actually needed something, like if they're running like, secure IT for antivirus, for example, and we're like, yeah, you're running this antivirus and it's pretty rough, man. Look at these infections that are on the computer. We'll scan with malware bytes or something and look at these infections. They're right here in front of you. And then look over here at what you're running that says you're safe. You need to get rid of this stuff. And we could actually help a lot of people. But it's just super shady to call people and tell them they have a problem when you don't actually know they have a problem. Even though statistically they probably have a problem. They just don't know it. We've never done it because obviously it's super shady. But we always joke, if we were we could be like Batman. We could be like an honest, he's a vigilante. He's a criminal, right? But we could be like Batman. We could be a good criminal, and we could help people. But, the police don't. They have a big signal for Batman. So, eventually they give in and help him. But the police don't like him very much. They don't like Punisher either. I don't understand that. He's helping people. No, not so much. We shouldn't probably aspire to be like Punisher. 866-496-8772. Got to take the final break of the show. When we come back, the Samsung S10 5G model is rolling out April 5th. This is different than the S10 model that just rolled out. This is a whole nother new S10 phone, but it's 5G. It's the first 5G phone. We've all heard about 5G and how fast and amazing it is. Should you jump all over this? We're going to tell you coming up next on Compute This.
Today's fragile computers need maintenance more than ever. Your computer needs a maintenance checkup every 6 months to last beyond its 18-month expected lifespan. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. And now Compute This Pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier. So take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
All right, guys. Thanks for calling in. I was looking at our callers. Thanks for calling into the show. We appreciate it. Have a good night. After the Batman comments, that's probably where the show should go right about now. 866-496-8772. You're listening to Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. If you're enjoying the show, we appreciate your patronage. Schrock Innovations keeps the lights on here for us and allows us to bring you the show and the After Schrock every week. Obviously, if you don't need any computer help, don't come in. But one thing I will point out is that almost exactly 6 months ago, a lot of you purchased prepaid maintenance checkup certificates. Some of you have not used them yet. We're computing a list of basically people who bought maintenance certificates but haven't had their computer in the last 6 months, so we can send you a reminder. That reminder is once again like, hey, come in by the end of the month for your preventative maintenance check that you've already prepaid for. It's doesn't cost you anything because your certificate is going to expire here at the end of the month. So I can tell you that all 3 service centers right now are in that weird lull where it was nice weather for the first time in a while and nobody was behind their computers breaking stuff. And so all the benches are clear for the most part. Omaha's got about half full, but Lincoln is pretty clear. Papillion is very clear. If you want to bring those computers in for maintenance checkups, if you have those certificates, now is the time to do that. You burn those certificates, you'll get great turnaround time, and you'll get to make sure you get that certificate utilized that you've already paid for. So if you purchased a maintenance checkup certificate, you can always call in if you're not sure if you used it or not. You can give us a call in the service center. We can tell you if you used it. If you didn't use it, then get on in and get it done because time is a ticking. 866-496-8772. Samsung is releasing their S10 5G model April 5th. Now that's in South Korea, so you're probably not going to want to go to South Korea and get one. It's not going to be in the U.S. on April 5th. It's going to be a little bit thereafter. Verizon has said that they are going to launch their 5G network in the United States right around April 11th. So when I say a little bit later, like a week later. And the S10 is anticipated to sell along with the release of the Verizon 5G network. Now, should you just jump out and get this? Now, if you have a Verizon phone or if you have a Verizon jetpack, a 5G jetpack would be a lot better than a 4G jetpack. Unfortunately, they don't make 5G jetpacks just yet. Samsung is making a 5G phone, however. Now, this 5G phone is actually a little bit larger in body, but it's thinner. The reason it's a different thickness than the other phones is because they didn't have to put as much stuff in it, you see. Because Verizon has their own settings, frequencies, all the technical jargon you don't need to know, there's a different modem inside the phone. Yes, there's a modem in your phone that connects to the Verizon network as opposed to the Sprint network, to the AT&T network. So right now, 5G is very fragmented. Each provider kind of has their own modem requirements. And so phones that are going to be coming out next year or even later this year, like I've mentioned before, I was waiting for the Note 10 because that's going to probably have all of the modems in it for all of the 5G providers, meaning that my phone will truly be portable between providers again. And no matter where I'm at, I can roam on other people's 5G networks. Whereas the Samsung S10 will work on the Verizon network and the Verizon network only. And if you're outside of the Verizon coverage area, you just won't have any cell phone signal, period, because it has a 5G radio. But because it has so many fewer radios in it, it's a slimmer phone. So my personal opinion is, if you're going to drop $1,200 on a phone, which is what this thing is expected to cost, it's supposed to cost more than the actual S10 model. It's going to be more expensive. But if you're going to drop $1,200 on this, I mean, you may as well go full Monty and get the Fold. It's $2,000. Just go all in and get the Galaxy Fold because, yeah, you'll be cool because you have 5G and you have really fast internet on your phone, but you can't show that off to your friends, you see. It's not like, dude, look at my browser, man. Like, I don't want to look at your browser. It's weird, man. Go away. You can't show that to anybody. But if you have a phone that you fold up and put in your pocket, I'm just saying you'd be the man at the water cooler. 866-496-8772. Dan, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Thor, I went into the Papillion place and saw Nikki, and I paid the cost of the new Microsoft update coming out. And what I don't understand is when do I use the soft grade? Will I wake up one morning and find the new Windows 10 on my computer and then have to do the software update, or how is it supposed to work?
Gotcha. That's a great question because normally, what I've said on the radio here is you have to go to the website and buy it and do it yourself at home. Some people don't like to use their credit cards online, so they'll come into the service center, and what the front desk will do in the service center basically is create an online account for you, add your upgrade, your safe upgrade to the cart, and then check out by running your credit card in the terminal in the store rather than over the internet. So basically, it's two ways to pay for the same thing. But once the update comes out, first of all, what's going to happen is Microsoft is going to release this big upgrade. Once they release it, we're going to install it on a bunch of computers in the service center first and test it to make sure it doesn't blow things up. That's the first. That takes about an hour and a half to do. Then after that, we're going to upload the update to the distribution server. That takes about another hour. So about 2.5 hours after Microsoft pushes it out to the first lucky recipients, your Safe Upgrade is going to go live. So right now, if you go to your Schrock account, you go on your computer, you go to SchrockInnovations.com, you click on Login, you enter your email address and the password that Nikki generated for you. It's usually your phone number unless you've changed it. You can log in to your account. And once you're logged into your Schrock account, then you can see, like, if you can download Safe Upgrade. You download the product to your computer. And if you try to run it too soon, it will pop up and tell you, hey, it's not time yet. But when it comes time, when it is time to run it, you're going to get an email. You're going to get a robocall. You're going to get, you're going to see us on Facebook talking about it with a Facebook Live. You're going to hear us on the radio talking about it. You're going to see us on TV talking about it. So you're going to be living under a rock if you don't hear about it. But so basically the whole thing that this update is going to do is it's going to install that Windows 10 upgrade for you. So you're not going to just wake up one morning and have it. You're going to actually initiate the installation in a controlled environment rather than just letting it happen haphazardly, if that makes sense.
So it won't happen overnight for me.
Nope. You're going to double click on it. You're going to put in your username and password, and you're going to click upgrade, and it's going to step you through the process.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
No problem, Dan. Have a great afternoon. All right, today's winner, $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. I don't have a clock up either. Is Blaine. Congratulations, Blaine. That's quick. I'll see you next Sunday.
From the Millard Roofing Studios, we've got you covered. This is News Radio 1110 KFAB, Omaha, an iHeart radio station.